All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining this fan channel. Today, we are going to be discussing a few things about Manchester United. First of all, I'm going to be giving you all some news, coming out from Manchester United. Yes. First of all, we want to talk about the players who. All right. First of all, we want to talk about the players who actually have been injured for Manchester United and who are now looking like they are not going to be coming back before the end of the season. The players like Matthias the Leeds, players like Lisandro Martinez. Somehow we are not somehow as Manchester United fans, we are not readily open. You know, we are not readily open to these players not being readily available for Manchester United. It's actually not something that a lot of Manchester United fans do not find. They do not find it they do not find it quite funny because it's actually affecting us negatively. Having defenders that we cannot rely on is absolutely not something that Manchester United fans want to be find fanciful. Lisandro Martinez is practically one of the best defenders in the world when he is fit. That is one thing we cannot take away from Lisandro Martinez. He's arguably one of the best defenders in the world when he is fit. But then his injury record is something that practically ruins it for all of us, including him. Yes, his injury record has been poor. He's actually not been able. If you count how many days Lisandro Martinez don't play, how many in all the years he spent at Manchester United since Eric Ten Hag brought him. If you calculate all of the years together, I'm not sure that Lisandro Martinez has played up to complete one season. I doubt it. If we can say that Lisandro Martinez has played up to one season for Manchester United, it's something that practically is a doubt for a lot of us. So we cannot always have players who on their day they are world class, but they cannot offer us a lot when it comes to longevity, when it comes to availability. This is the reason why I think that Manchester United should also be looking into the market for getting players who are not injury prone. Look at the likes of Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire has been fit for the longest. He's not a player who goes off injured all of the time. He's one of the he's one of yes, he's not the best, but he's one of the most reliable defenders that we have at Manchester United. Lenny Yoro is young, he's growing, he's learning the trade. And it is not easy for a young man, 19 years, 20 years of age, coming into one of the biggest clubs in the world and being, thrown into the fire and being judged according to how he performs and not according to his age. Because right now he plays in the Premier League and it is not about how he performs. It is not about his age anymore, or how he performs and his mentality and all of that. Then this season we have practically had to rely on Lenny Yoro. Many of the times we've seen Aiden Heaven come in and Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw have been decent, yeah, and he's been out there helping Manchester United. For me, no matter how good you are as a player, when you are not available, you are not good. That's just it. No matter how much ball control you have, how good you are playing out from the back. If you are not constantly available, then it does not mean anything to the club. So that is why I think that players like Lisandro Martinez, if we cannot find a way to keep them fit, then they should be leaving Manchester United because I believe that he played a lot of times in the Dutch league and he was not always out. So it feels like the Premiership is a little bit um, more rigorous to him than the Dutch league. So for me, I think he would do well maybe going to Spain or going to Italy. I think that those guys he will do well. Matters the league. I don't think that he's injury prone, right? And he's come into Manchester and he's practically done well for me. You know, he's put in the work and all of that and done well. But then, you know, there is this air of uncertainty around him. How can he be injured and at the end of the day we don't have a date at which Matters the league will be back? Because if we are to look at it critically, Matthias De Ligt and Lisandro Martinez are the best players we have. Yes, when it comes to defenders, they are the best player we have. And if we are not going to be making use of them, I don't see why we should be having them at the club and paying them salaries while they sit in the hospital week in, week out, year in, year out. So that is it for me. I think that Eden Heaven is a young footballer that probably might grow into becoming a top defender. Lenny Yoro has shown signs of a warrior, someone who is learning and someone who is actually putting in the work. And this is someone I think that can model his game, like Lenny Yoro can model his game around Rio Ferdinand, because Rio Ferdinand is one of those players whom, in as much as he didn't have the speed, but he was one of those players who put in good work. You know, he's a very good reader of the game. He knows how to stand firm. You know, he gets into those blocks and all of those things. And I think that Lenny Euro can, right type of the like, grow his game around how Rio Ferdinand has played. You know, these guys are actually Rio Ferdinand, Vidic are actually very, very important players in their era, and they were about the best duo in the Premier League centre back partnership. So if you look at it, I think that Manchester United should be looking at doing business in the summer transfer window for defenders. Yes, we know that the main focus, we know that the main focus for Manchester United right now will be in the midfield. Yes, it is no news that Manchester United will be looking at getting the likes of Bruno Guimaraes. We also hear that Manchester United have Sandro Tonelli in the picture, also Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, Matheus Fernandes. You know, all of these guys are very good players on their day. And for Manchester United, I think that we have to fine tune to the players, the profile of the players that we want at Old Trafford. So it's going to be a very, very busy. It's going to be a very, very busy summer transfer window for Manchester United. And one thing is sure, for our qualification to the European Champions League will give us bargaining power. Yes, that is very, very sure. Our qualification, if we qualify to the European Champions League, it is going to give us a bargaining power. It is going to give us that kind of that kind of flair, to go into negotiations with potential players. If we look at Bruno Guimaraes, for example, from Newcastle, we know that he's experienced in England. He's also experienced in Europe. That counts for something. The same thing with Sandro Tonelli. We cannot say the same. We also have Elliot Anderson, who has also got Premier League experience as well as European experience. So all of these players actually offers us something. But then the Premier League qualifying for the Champions League gives us that power to bargain properly and to get fair prices and also put them on fair salaries, because in the past Manchester United have paid outrageous money to players. Yes, outrageous money to players, the likes of Alexis Sanchez, the likes of Harry Maguire, Sanchez, the likes of Romelu Lukaku. We've paid exorbitant money to players who did not really give us what we expected of them. So right now, Manchester United, the Ineos, are actually stamping a foot on that, and they have raised the salary structure that will basically make Manchester United not overspending, and also balance the books properly. This is very, very important, for from a Manchester United fan perspective. We are not supposed to be look at players like Marcus Rashford earning 300 and something grand a week at Manchester United. This person that is earning 300 and something grand never win Champions League, never win Premier League, and he's earning 300 and something grand a week. It's not like he's the best player at the club. Bruno Fernandes is the best player at the club. And whatever Bruno Fernandes demands to get, he deserves to get it because he is the best player at Manchester United. And he is the reason why Manchester United is still afloat up until this moment. Bruno Fernandes has carried Manchester United on its back for many seasons, coming. It used to be David De Gea. Then it became David and Bruno Fernandes had to step in to make it to create that shortcut. And right now we have players like Matheus Cunha who's coming to the squad. We have players like Brian Mbuemo who's has gotten involved. So we need to get in players who are really disciplined. Kudos to Ruben Amorim, what he did at Manchester United with eradicating every form of lawlessness at the club. Yes, and he did that in a space of 14 months, and that was very, very important that he came in at that moment and eradicated these people. Because tell me, if we had Ruben Amorim, let's say we had our board go from Eric Ten Hag straight to Michael Carrick, it would have been a problem because Michael Carrick, I don't think that Michael Carrick would have been able to eradicate these players, get these players out of the club. The likes of Garnacho, the likes of Sancho, Marcus Rashford, and Højlund. All of these players might not have been able to leave the club because look at what is going on now. Look at the rumors we are hearing that Manchester United are looking at opening talks to get Casemiro to play for one more year. And that's something that is actually not sitting well with me. Because why are we wanting Casemiro to stay for one more year at the club? For what reason? Casemiro, this is his last dance with the club. And we cannot be paying Casemiro that amount of money. He does not give us 100% of what we expect from a central defensive midfielder. He does not give us. And this is where we need to draw the line, know when to let the players go. Casemiro, this is the right time to let him go. He is not all that anymore. He has given us a bit of himself. I think that we've gotten that bit, but we need to move on. It is very important that we need to move on from Casemiro. Yes, very, very important. And if we look, that's why we should be in the market. We should be doing business in this summer. And when we say business, sweet business, because we have a lot of positions to actually bolster. Yes, we have a lot of positions to bolster. Our fullback positions, Diogo Dalot, Luke Shaw. Manchester United need to be letting these players leave at the end of the day. A player like Diogo Dalot shouldn't be playing for Manchester United at this time. Yes, we have Patrick Dogu. Yes, who is a winger to me, because I've seen him play, and Patrick Dogu is not a defender; he's a winger to me. Yes, Amad Diallo, who has also played in the wing back position. So for me, what I think is that Diogo Dalot has to look for a club where he will go to. Also, what's his name? Luke Shaw. They need to look for a club. We are retaining Harry Maguire because of his experience. He still can put in the work. Still got experience. He still can defend and all of that. We saw Thiago Silva anchoring Chelsea and taking Chelsea to win the Champions League, and at over 30 years of age. So we know that Harry Maguire still has it and can still do it. This is very, very important. But then, aside from Harry Maguire, I don't think that we have any defender that we can rely on right now, because Matthias De Ligt and Lisandro Martinez are nowhere to be found at this moment. So I would say that it is really important for us, And there's the news coming out, We know that Dogu is actually in the gym right now. Yes, Dogu is in the gym. He's training, and he's looking at coming back, into the fray. And become an important player for Manchester United, and that is very good. And this is where we have to reverence Bruno, because Bruno also had an hamstring. Dogu caught hamstring, but Bruno came back almost immediately, and that is why you have to. That is why I think that a lot of players need to look at Bruno and model themselves around Bruno, because there is something about Bruno. There is something Bruno must be doing right that is keeping him that fit, that is making him very fit. And it is not just about Bruno. Look at Portuguese players. Look at the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, right? These guys have something that they do that is right, that is keeping them in the game. So I think that a lot of Manchester United players need to take that template from Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, for me right now, is one of the most important players in the world, if not the most important player in the world right now. What he's doing is on a massive scale. He is highest in everything, creating chances. He's a creative machine, like what's his name? De Bruyne called him. He's a creative machine, and he's doing all of that in a team that cannot boast of prolific scorers. Look at Benjamin Sesko. With limited games coming up from the bench, Bruno has been creating for him to score goals. It is very important. What it is very, 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 very interesting what Bruno is doing for Manchester United. Yes, and by the end of this season, I think that Manchester United will be having a way, or will be qualifying for the Champions League football, and that would even give Bruno a lot more reason to, stay at the club and actually fight to get something, to get his hand on a trophy, Premier League or the Champions League trophy, whichever one. But I see Manchester United doing very well by next season. If they are able to get in very good midfielders, I see Manchester United doing so well by next season. Yeah, they are going to actually put in the work, and I trust that whoever becomes the manager will actually be someone who is keen, who is ready to win, because that is very, very important. You have to be ready to win. That is one of the most important things that are for you as a Manchester United manager. You have to have that winning mentality. You have to always go for it, because by next season we would qualify for Champions League, and when we have Champions League football, it means that we are going to be having a lot more games, and having a lot more games, we need to have a squad depth, because if we have a lot of games without the squad depth, we have a lot of injuries without anybody to replace them, and that raises problem for Manchester United on the long run. So I think that we should be concentrated on getting in players at this point, because it is almost guaranteed that Manchester United will be qualifying for the Champions League next season. Also, I want to talk about Benjamin Sesko. We see what Benjamin Sesko has been doing. He's coming off the bench, scoring goals, and even when you put him on, he manages to get a goal. And looking at Benjamin Sesko, how he started this season, limited game time, not being called upon by Ruben Amorim, and then the tides change. Michael Carrick comes on board, and Michael Carrick becomes a very instrumental part of giving Benjamin Sesko the belief that he needs to actually play for Manchester United. And Benjamin Sesko went from having just 2 goals in the Premier League to 9, massive, 7 goals in about 10 games. That is massive for Benjamin Sesko, and that has actually improved his confidence in the team, his confidence with himself, and he has guaranteed right now himself that yes, he can actually do it in the Premier League, and that is very important for Manchester United. We know that it will take another 24 days before Manchester United will be playing a game in the Premier League. Yes, between now and 13th of April, before Manchester United will be having another game in the Premier League, right? We'll be seeing after the international break, we will be seeing the team. We'll be seeing the team still go on another 1 week holiday. Yes, because it will be the Carabao Cup, I mean the CAF and the FA Cup. It will be the FA Cup in England. So Manchester United would not be participating in the FA Cup. So Manchester United board has actually agreed to fly the players out of England. They will be traveling to Dublin for a 4 days intensive training. And the reason for this training is to keep them focused, is to galvanize them, is to make them still sharp, and ready for the game, because they are on a 2 week holiday, and with their respective countries. And when they come back, they cannot rest for another 1 week. So they have to go on that journey to Ireland, to Dublin, and actually get themselves worked up, galvanize themselves, put in high spirit, waiting for the Leeds game, because the Leeds game is very important. Manchester United has about 7 games till the end of this season. And within these 7 games, we need to win at least 5 of them to get us in the champion, to get us that Champions League spot. We need to win at least 5 of them. So if we win at least 5 of them, we are guaranteed that we are going to the Champions League. We are guaranteed, and I think that we should be. If we look at Emmanuel Obenawa Emmanuel Obanewa, welcome, guys. If we look at the games we have, the remainder of the games we have, if we look at the remainder of the games we have, in the league, we have Leeds United next, and after Leeds United, we are going to be playing against Chelsea. After Chelsea, I think it will be Brentford. After Brentford, we'll play Liverpool. After Liverpool, we play Sunderland. So if you look at it, that 5 games has 2 important games in it: the Liverpool and Chelsea. We know that Chelsea and Liverpool are looking for ways to qualify for the Champions League. Yes, and they are looking for ways to bring Manchester United down also. So if you look at, we beat Chelsea in the first leg, and then right now we'll be going, the second leg will be going to Stamford Bridge to face them. And for me, I just think that my prayer is that um, they don't sack Liam Rosenau. I pray that they don't sack Liam Rosenau. Yes, maybe they don't sack the guy. I pray that they don't sack him until that game, so that Manchester United can get their own 3 points off Chelsea, because now everywhere now Chelsea they lose. Every corner, anywhere Chelsea enter, they lose. So me, I feel like we should actually get our pound of flesh, from Chelsea, and Liverpool will be at home at Old Trafford, and I'm having that belief that we can actually get a win, from Liverpool. We can do a double on them, home and abroad. Yes, we can do a double on them, and because the boys are actually looking really good. They are sharp, and I think that Michael Carrick has been able to get out, some good things out of the boys. So for me, I think that we should be getting a win over Chelsea and Liverpool. Then, if we can do that, Leeds United, Brentford, Sunderland, whatever happens there, I do that we can actually get maybe 2 wins. Maybe in the whole 5 games, we'll get 4 wins, or maybe we can get 3 wins, 1 draw, or 4 wins, 1 draw, or 3 wins, 1 draw, maybe, because nothing is guaranteed though. But at the end of the day, looking at how Chelsea and Liverpool have been performing in the league, I don't think that they can match Manchester United when we meet them, because they are demoralized right now. The Chelsea team is demoralized right now. There are a lot of fracas in the team right now. So it will not be something that will be easy, for Chelsea to actually come back like that. Liverpool is not that team that is consistent. They are not consistent. They are not close to being consistent. So it's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster for both Chelsea and for both Liverpool. And Manchester United can take advantage of it. That is what I know. I think that Manchester United can take advantage of these 2 teams, and then we can get a win over Leeds United. We need to actually get our pound of flesh over Leeds United. In the first leg, it was, I think, a 1-1 stall. So Manchester United needs to get that win over Leeds United. So if we go by the trajectory and go by the form of these teams, we can actually get 9 points. Then we look at Brentford and Sunderland. Whatever we get from there, we know that we are guaranteed we've guaranteed that we've qualified for the Champions League for next season. And then we know that Champions League qualifications gives us the bargaining power going into the transfers, getting in players at Manchester United. The likes of Sandro Tonelli, the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, the likes of Elliot Anderson would want to play in the Champions League next season. And Manchester United will be offering them that. So it would at the end of the day be a tool for us to go into the bargain, because yes, not just about them agreeing to join Manchester United. It will be a tool for us to get very good price for them. We will not be asked for outrageous money because we are not in the Champions League. We will not be Newcastle will not be coming to ask us for outrageous money because we are not in the Champions League, right? Nottingham Forest will not be putting outrageous money out there because we are not in the right now. We have Champions League football, and the prices will be moderate, and Manchester United can actually agree a fair salary for them. This is something the E-News are trying to make sure that they get it down with fair salaries, fair prices, and then everything is good. Then we know that these boys are coming to play, not like the likes of Garnacho, not like the likes of Sancho, who came to Manchester United because of the money that Manchester United offered them. Right now, we have players coming to the club because they want to play for Manchester United. Like Cunha, we can see what Cunha is doing. Cunha embodies it, that he wants to play for the club. He's ready to give everything for the club, and that is why we love a person like Cunha, because he embodies it, he wears it. He wants to give 100% of himself, and that is very, very important for every player coming to Manchester United. They have to come in knowing that we are coming into a family that is poised to actually win titles. Manchester United cannot be Chelsea, we cannot be Liverpool, we cannot be Arsenal or Man City. We have to be Manchester United. We are the biggest club in England and one of the biggest in the world. So we actually have to embody that. We have to show it off. And that includes us bargaining for players and getting them at the right prices. Very, very important for Manchester United. What else is there on the table to talk about? If you have any question, you can actually send in your questions. We can talk about anything that you are curious about. Yes, yes. You can send in your questions. We have little less than 5 minutes to leave here. So if you're here, you're seeing me for the first time, thank you for joining this fan channel. My name is Elder. This is Man United Elder TV, and we do everything we do here is all about Manchester United. Everything we discuss here is about Manchester United. So you can do well to click the subscribe button, click the notification button, because we have loads of videos on this channel for you to watch and get information about Manchester United, different events, match analysis, banters, and all of that. All of them you get on this fan channel. So we are less than 3 minutes, to leave here. Whatever question you have, you can put it up there, and we'll be ready to take it up for you. You can put whichever question you want. You can put it up here, and we are going to take it up. We are going to take it up from you. So I want to say a very big thank you to all of you who joined the live stream. Thank you so much for coming on board. It was a nice time It was nice spending time with you. I am actually very happy. We will do this tomorrow again. I will come with a lot more topic about Manchester United. We will have to do it again. But until then, I want to say thank you so much for everyone who joined the fan channel. It's all about Manchester United, like I've said. I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace and love.